What's up, guys? It's Drew here with an emergency pod as the Mets have just finished off the Brewers in the wild card. So we're here to discuss that. We're here to discuss the potential pitching matchups and our overall thoughts on the upcoming series against the Mets. It's the first time the Mets have ever faced off with the Phillies in the playoffs, which is ridiculous considering how long the rivalry between us two has gone. So this is just in for a treat with this series. I am super excited no matter how much props I give the Mets for how they've come down the stretch here the last month and how they handled this Brewers squad. I still think the Phillies are a better team. I think the Phillies lineup, the only team they might not, I think they're a better team. The only team I think might be considered better in all of baseball might be the Dodgers, and that's an Ohtani factor. But yeah, let's get into it. So the Mets had 4 starters go in this series. They had Sevy start game 1, Manaea start game 2, Quintana started game 3, and then David Peterson came in and pitched at the end of this game. He only threw a handful of pitches, so maybe he'll go game 1 on Saturday against Zach Wheeler. I'm not really sure how they'll handle this. It'll be interesting. There's some rumors that Kodai Senga could be back in time for the NLDS if the Mets reached it there. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. It'll also be interesting to see if Edwin Diaz is available game 1 should he be needed, as he pitched a lot today to hold down the bleeding that was going on. So it'll be fascinating to see what the Mets do pitching-wise. The Phillies, we got Zach Wheeler going game 1, I would assume Nola going game 2. With some combination of Suarez or Sanchez then in game 3 and 4, should game 4 be needed. I'm just hoping that with the end of the season there, the Mets took 4 of 7 from us in the last couple of weeks. The Mets have been hot. They finished the season strong. Let's just hope that we find a way to cool them down. We find a way to put up runs, as that's what we were struggling with at the end of the season there. We got to get the bats going early. We got to get runs on the board quickly, put the pressure on them, force them to do things, and just let our pitching roll, as our pitching is one of our strengths this year. So if we can get runs up early and often, and then just let the pitching roll with the pitching, I think we're golden. Lindor and Alonso are a good tandem there that they got, and they have random guys that have been stepping up and doing well. Jesse Winker hit twice today. He didn't get a hit today, but he did get hit twice. Looking a little mentally unstable as he crossed home plate on that final run, looking like the Hulk, smashing his helmet. All in good fun. Let's hope he's okay, though, as he seemed a little shaken up after he dove into second base. Not much of a threat, though, if we're being honest. Pete Alonso doing normal Pete Alonso things. Let's hope that he stays cold and that this 3-run shot that he hit, which was really the only thing he's done this whole series, doesn't kind of ignite him to be normal Polar Pete that everyone fears. Let's hope Lindor, let's just hope we can keep them in check. Zach Wheeler matches up well against them all. It's going to be fascinating to see. I think a big storyline is just going to really be how we start the series. I think it's going to be really fascinating to see if the bats take a second to get going, or if they can get going right away and we can jump on the Mets right away, which I think will be an important part. You can't get off to a slow start. We have to get off hot. We have to show that the break that we took only helped us, it didn't hurt us. We have to show that, the Mets did just play a 3-game series where they acted like, and you have to in these series, you have to act like there's no tomorrow, because you're really not guaranteed tomorrow. You have to fight for everything you get. So, and that's how the Mets played the series. And let's, from a Phillies standpoint, let's hope that hurt them, as they used, like I said, they used 4 starters just to get through a 3-game series. So hopefully, David Peterson might go on Saturday, which would probably be my guess. We had a good game against him earlier this year where we put up a bunch of runs on him. So let's hope that we can do that again. We gotta stay focused. We can't get unfocused. I really think if I had to give 3 keys, I would say start off hot, pitching, hold up, and bullpen. At pitching, bullpen, same thing, but bullpen you gotta lock down once the starters come out. The big thing to me is getting off quickly. You can't come out slow. You can't let Wheeler go 6-7 strong innings and you not give him any run support. These Mets starters, nothing against them, but they're not top tier. They're not Zach Wheeler. They're not Aaron Nola. So you can't let them skunk you. You got to put up runs. I mean, Sevy was promising with the Yankees, but he kept getting hurt and he never did much. Jose Quintana, man's old. He's just kind of hanging around at this point. Sean Manaea, he's not terrible, but he's not consistent either. I mean, these guys, they're all... Severino is a good starting pitcher, and he's their best. I'll put it that way. Their best offering is Luis Severino, and he's nothing better than like good. And then there's Nola, which is a tier above him, and Zach Wheeler, who's a tier above that yet. So overall, like you compare the 2 rosters, we're better, and you need to prove that. You need to show that, hey, we're better. We're not here to mess around. We're here to win a World Series. It's now or never. Not really. But that's the mentality that you got to have. You have to go with that killer. You can't just play down to your opponents. You have to say, we're better than you. We're not holding back. You don't deserve to be here. We're going to beat you. The Mets, obviously, I'm not saying they don't deserve to be here. They won their way here just as much as anyone else has. They proved that they belong here. But yeah, so I really think this pitching matchup's going to be interesting with how the Mets do it. I think our pitching is way better than theirs. Look at the bullpen. Edwin Diaz just pitched a bunch today, so I don't know what his availability would be like in a close game 1 already. I doubt he would pitch, but they do have the day off on Friday, so that's a possibility. Francisco Alvarez, I'm just going through their depth chart at this point, hitting on each of their guys. Francisco Alvarez, Gary Sanchez 2.0, but worse. Pete Alonso, really slow start to the postseason. The only thing he did was that 3-run shot. Now, not downplaying that 3-run shot because it was the deciding factor in that game, but that's the only thing he did. And in the playoffs, you can't just, it's a lot of one moments. You can't just have one. You need to have multiple. And now, 3-game series, you can get away with just having one moment. But if you're quiet a whole series and you only have one moment and you're your team's best player, you're not going to win. So Pete Alonso's got to step up if they want a chance to win. So if we can hold him quiet, that would be amazing. Jose Iglesias, Luis Angel Acuna's younger brother. Jeff McNeil. I don't know if is Jeff McNeil back. Would be my only question. Let's look, shall we? I don't think Jeff McNeil's back yet. But possibly Jeff McNeil. But Jose Iglesias has been playing second base. Third base, you got Mark Vientos and Jose Iglesias. Mark Vientos hasn't been bad. He's actually had a solid wild card series there. You got Francisco Lindor. Everyone knows him. He was hot here the last month of September. Let's hope he doesn't kill us. Your outfield, you got Brandon Nimmo, Jesse Winker, Tyrone Taylor, Harrison Bader, Starling Marte. And then you got JD Martinez there if you need him to clean up in the DH. Starling Marte had a good wild card series. But like I said, the Mets bats didn't impress me much in the wild card. They were definitely quiet, as the only person that had an above 300 average. Now, I know it's a 3-game series, but an above 300 average was Starling Marte, and he was at 333, and he only had one hit. It was a big hit, but he only had one hit here in the game. So their bats seem to have quieted down. The Brewers hit really well. We'll have to see. But you take this Mets lineup and you compare it to the most likely Phillies NLDS roster. I'll take ours any day. So it really comes down to the offense. In all reality, it's, can we outscore them, and can our pitching hold off? Our team is way better, and we are in for a treat, though, as Mets Phillies is always entertaining. I do have a quote from Brandon, as he couldn't make it. His official statement is, the Mets are a bunch of dorks and are going to have a rude awakening when the Phillies snap them back to their sad reality of being losers. Now, let's be honest. The Mets suck. So, they are not ready for what they're stepping into in Philly. Mets fans think they can come, and they think that they can, buy all the tickets to these Phillies home games in the postseason. Nah, Red October, they don't know what they're getting into. The Mets don't know what they're getting into. They are in for a rude awakening. You gotta look at it. The Mets finished hot, yeah, but the Phillies, when they get focused, when we're focused, they're all focused on this World Series. And you get to the playoffs, they become a different team. So let's just, as long as the Phillies can hop into a second gear, they can come out hot, they can come out strong, and they can just let the Mets know, hey, we're not here to mess around, we mean business, and you can get off to a good start, hot against their poor pitching, as their top of the rotation can't really go. That would be key. The only thing to look for, which would be interesting, is if Kodai Senga does come back for this series. It'll be fascinating, as he's been trying to come back from the past couple of months now from his calf strain that he started with. So it'll be fascinating to see if they give him a go here. That could be the one wild card for them, as he's pitched well against the Phillies in the past. Or, like I say, guys, you're in for a treat. This Mets Phillies, it'll be good. It all comes down to, as I keep saying, the Phillies getting off to a good start. And, you look at their lineup, JT's better than Francisco Alvarez. Bryce is better than Pete. Trey's better than Lindor. Bohm's better than their third baseman. Our outfield is arguably better. Pitching staff, starters, way better. Bullpen, marginally better for the most part. It's more consistent throughout. They have Edwin Diaz, who is one of the top closers in all of baseball. But, I would take our bullpen any day with the depth and the consistency across it. But, yeah, let's go Phils. Red October, here we come. And we'll be back here to hopefully recap the NLDS and talk about the NLCS and us facing off whoever wins the Dodgers-Padres series. Now for Drew, I'm signing off. Let's go Phils, and I'll see you in a bit.